5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alabasta. Man, in my opinion, I remember watching this. This art, what's name? Just Alabasta itself. About long, and
Let me
I
ask you a
mean
question.
long.
Would
as
you
a bitch.
would oh you wild.
Long as a
Would you
bitch.
I don't want to wild out. Would you say that Arlong Park was better than Alabasta?
I say it's I can make my peace with that.
Because
I can make my
I low key kind of mess with Arlong. I don't know, man.
Like you understand,
there was a lot of emotion in it.
It's a lot of emotion here, but we'll get to that in a second. Like we'll table that. We'll get back to that.
Let's get started in it first.
So first and foremost, we get to the first arc of Alabasta, which is Reverse Mountain.
Yes,
basically they get into a makeshift world where they like, wait, is this shit real? No, it's not real. So it's a fake thing and all that. And that we meet Laboon. It's a whale that met Roger and also Brooks' crew a while ago and everything. And that like he always fights with things and is trying to break the wall, and he has all these scars because he's like fighting the wall and everything. That their friends promise to come back. And Luffy says, hey man, I'll come back for you one day and all that. And it's all nice. And we meet that old man who's good and everything. He used to sail on Roger's ship too. He was the doctor for Roger's ship and all that. But I mean, it's a decent arc and everything, but
it's a cool arc. It's a
cool
arc.
It's a cool arc. How you feel about it?
I think it's funny. I think it's a funny arc because when they go inside of Laboon,
a different world.
Crocus is living inside of him. He's like the person, the gatekeeper of the Red Line, the Grand Line entrance, and the arc, the way they introduce him is hilarious because like all you see is like this little house. You would think it's like Kami's, like literally Master Roshi's island or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
And he looked like Master Roshi a little bit too.
A little bit. He opens the door and you just see black. You just see a pair of eyeballs. He walks out. You think he's about to attack him and everything. Takes a pair of newspaper, sits down, and he starts reading. And they're like, "You're just gonna start reading, man?"
Yeah.
But and it's just like everything they do, the camera angle they do with Crocus and everything. He's a funny guy. Laboon, it's a cool arc and everything.
This is when they first show like they first show like the numbers people, like what's name like because what's name shows up in this arc. I mean, we don't know who she is yet, Vivi, but like what's name like because like what's name she's one of the
she did show up in this one. She did
because like what's name her and her member was supposed to like take over this thing, whatever, for Broke Works, which we get into because like I said, it's a short little arc and everything. It's nothing. It's quick and everything. We get straight to Whiskey Peak, and this is when we get to really get into depth about Baroque Works.
Everything leads into each other. Like for the Baroque Works, Whiskey Peak was that was pretty fire to me.
Yeah, Whiskey Peak, like as I remember that shit, like it was still funny as hell. Like they meet there, they think everything's cool. Then they wake up because Zoro peeps shit before everything, which like my thing
he was drunk as I don't know what, and this man stayed up. Yeah, this was a fire one. I don't know. Whiskey Peak was really like it was like a 3-episode arc, but it was an arc though.
And then the funny thing is Zoro, like Luffy was fighting Zoro, like, I'm beating you up, Zoro. Why? Because you beat up our people. They fed us. They were trying to kill us. And then Luffy
is all fat and everything. He's all swollen and everything because he's eating like all everything.
That food.
But it's crazy because it was like it's funny because it's just like I like how it just felt. Like it was just nighttime and everybody was like, hey man, everything comes out at night, man. I like the festive music that they play and everything, where they play like the little piano joint going into the night and everybody starts to fall asleep and everybody is like surrounding the Straw Hats. And Zoro is just like, he's literally in the middle of the Baroque Works crowd. He was just like, what are we gonna plan to do with them? And then like they look at him, they're like, wait, hold on, aren't you like what?
Yeah.
And then he
started
bro, he finesses the
he
whole
finesses, and then he just
bro.
started running through them, every single one of them. And it was tough to see Zoro get loose and everything. It was funny to see him and Luffy fight. And it was just like it's more set up and everything. After that, like you get to see like some of the bigger numbers come there and everything.
Yeah. And I like the end of Whiskey Peak where literally they're about to like leave off or whatever. And Eager Repose is hilarious. I'm gonna just say that right now. Literally they're about to take off and everything. And what's his face? They have the bomb dude there. He's black and everything. He got the hair and everything. He got the sleek coat and everything. But I like them going into dawn, the morning of dawn, how they're about to set up, like how they're gonna happen. They make it seem like Baroque Works is a mob and everything. Zoro was actually offered a job to work for them, and he said, I don't want to work for y'all unless I'm the boss. And that's how he turned them down. And it was just funny because I remember Eager Report was supposed to be some sort of he was supposed to be a diversion. And when he was on the boat leaving out, they bombed that joint. And then we're all looking around like, bro, where did that come from? This is a big ship and everything. How did come on now? That was crazy.
It was crazy as fuck. And after that, like what's saying, literally, like you realize, like what's saying, out of nowhere, like it's still like we realize like because they escape and everything, but that's when we learn here that the numbers that they were after dealing with during the boom, that was she's a princess and everything and all that. And the bigger numbers realize this shit, and it's like, yeah, we gotta come get you, Shard, because
it's so crazy.
Commander is
her.
Yep, they were after her. It was like, what's our commander's after you and everything. Top head, like that's when we start getting the previews of, like, we don't see him yet, but we get the previews. We hear his name, Crocodile. We get the previews. We don't see him yet. We hear the name, but we don't see him yet and everything.
And it's so funny because you're not even supposed to know his name unless like you're one of the inner numbers or something.
Like we hear that talk between them, all that it's dope as hell and everything. That we get, like, it ends there. They get off the island, and then they go to the next one, which is Little Garden, which was Little Garden was alright.
Little Garden was cool. I think it was I liked it mostly because of the Elbaf warriors and their background. they like the battle and everything. It was dope. Like for years, like over a century, they were running the fade with each other, and that was dope part. Yeah. And I think the main fight that was happening there was it was cool. I mean, it was just supposed to be like an intro to like what you're going to be up against in Baroque Works. But what I mostly loved in this was the background and the culture of the Elbafs. Yeah. And that's what I really liked most about like Little Garden. They had been fighting for years and years and years back to back.
But it was just back to back. But my thing is, it was always a respect thing. Like it wasn't like, oh, I hate you. It was just, hey man. It was like all. It's like basically it's like you see, like, remember, like you go to the gym, you see OGs playing basketball and shit. That's like, it's like that. Yeah.
And what's so crazy is like Luffy, he respects that. It's all about honor. And that's when them Baroque folks, they don't know how to play fair.
Yeah,
I think they spiked one of their drinks, and
number 3 did all the other stuff and everything and all that, man.
He put some bombs in the boys' drinks, man. Yeah. And while that was so crazy. How do you, bruh? He drank the joint and like his inside was just, and I was just like blood and everything. I was like, yo, that's crazy. And when they fought again, he still rushed into battle with the same energy, same strength. And the crazy thing, the illness, the bombs isn't what even affected him. It was just like he slipped at some point. He lost his footing, but he was still going full strength like the same battle right before. And like, that was cool. Luffy's battle between what was his name?
3.
Number 3. It was cool. You know,
it was cool. Like it's a cool arc. Like my thing is, I'll be honest with you. Nothing here really gets you into the thing until you get here. And wrong, it takes long in this bitch because it's long in the butt, but we're gonna get there soon. So next up is
actually, let me quickly say something. I think for these ones mostly, everything that leads up into the actual fight with like Alabasta,
Yeah.
it wasn't even more so like the fight scenes that was cool in any of these leading up arcs. It was mostly what was happening on the island and what was there before, and just like the culture,
Yeah,
and just like everything about it.
it's like it's the world building and everything, and like I can appreciate some world building. Like you build out the lore of the show, you build out all that and everything, and it's dope. Like you meet a bunch of different folks, and after that, heck, bro.
Yeah, because the only arc that was really fire with the fighting was when Zoro ran through them Baroque boys, and
that was cool.
Him and Luffy was
fighting and everything. That shit was funny. Like you see Luffy fat as hell. He's like, I would never forgive you, Zoro. They fat ass, and you would have beat him up.
And you know what's so funny? He was like, Luffy, are you serious? Do you want me to kill you? You want to fight? And then Luffy was all fat and everything. He's like, oh.
And then they really
what's wrong with you, man?
And you see, like, my thing is, it's hilarious enough. Like, you know, it's not serious. You know, they ain't really like, yeah. But like, you know, it's just funny enough that they're just sitting here. And the thing is, while they're fighting, they cause destruction, beating all the other people up in the crossfire. And it's just a funny ass.
Oh
part.
Yeah, you remember when Luffy gets skinny, and then the bomb dude, the black dude, and the lemonade looking girl.
Yeah,
they walked up. She was just like, "Hey, what about us?" And they were just like, "Hey, stay out of this," and they knocked them out.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a theory that when Luffy and Zoro were fighting on that island, that there was hockey in the air that they were creating and shifting.
I've seen too many damn things about hockey and fucking if it wasn't before Sabaody, like number one, they did tease like a bunch of different things are technically regarded as hockey before then, but like you understand how I've seen too many damn theory videos like, hey man, what reason why Zoro really got up is because he had observational hockey already there, and after that, like he had this there. I'm like, bruh, stop with the bullshit. It's so
That's
many
apparently
different.
What they said.
Unless Oda says it himself, I'm not going for theories. There's only some things that they have shown. We'll get to where it has hockey. That's something we learned like literally right before the time skip, but. Yeah, a lot of people have after the time skip. It's almost like an Oprah give out for damn hockey. Like you get hockey.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. I don't like how all of a sudden like the time skip comes and like almost everybody can use it. A bunch of random marine users like you don't want to dress for. We'll get to that part when we get to it, but it's just
it's like they can use hockey and the one
I like it. It's always better when it's rare. Go ahead.
And the one thing is that. The most like rest of all to get like observational and armament, you just have to you have to train hard as fuck to get that shit, and it's still rare to get. The most rare to get is Conquerors, and I like you understand how many times I'm getting mad when Luffy and them is fighting these niggas, and then they sitting here. Oh, he has the color Supreme King too. How many people have this shit?
I don't like that because do you remember? I hate to get ahead of myself.
Yeah.
But do you remember in Dressrosa when Doflamingo was literally, he had like his bird cage closing up and everybody in the Marines was trying to help, and they were just like, all right, anybody that is in the Marines and knows how to use hockey, come up and quickly try to hold this cage back.
Yeah.
And I see like a row of randoms, not like, we're not talking admirals, we're not talking vice admirals.
We're talking about this regular grunt soldiers.
Vroom, vroom, other swords and everything. Hands are like pushing, and I'm just like,
nah,
I don't like that. Nah. Don't give that. Don't come on. This is supposed to be a rare thing, man.
Come on. Like, yeah, bro. But we get ahead of ourselves. Let's get to the next island. This Drum Island.
Let's keep it here.
We had Drum Island and everything. This is where we meet. Like it's an icy little place and all that. Basically, Nami got sick, so they had to go get Shawty some help and everything. And like what's the name? They ain't got any doctors in the town because the king had pushed all the doctors out for some fucking reason because the shit was stupid for some reason. But we had that, and after that, we meet Chopper. And we meet Chopper, we meet Kureha and everything, and that they help him with the medicine, help heal everybody up, help give him some food. Then the king comes back, they fight the king, beat his ass, and that ex Chopper join the crew. And after that, like Kureha says, join the crew and all that and everything. I mean, she's a cool old lady and everything, all that. And after that, I mean, heck, it's a nice little. I mean, it's nice and everything. You see Chopper's backstory. You see his former master and everything. How he dreamed about doing this and all that and everything. How he protected them to the very end. And it was a cool little arc. We got another member of the story. We got a doctor on the team now, so that's cool. But I mean, it was chill. Like let's say me and Just said, the main action you see in the whole thing is here and here. Really, it's a lot of story building. It's some action in these parts and everything, but it's nothing like, oh my god, this shit's just amazing. But yeah. How you feel, Jess?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't really have much to say about this arc. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying Chopper in his intro.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. You know, we get Chopper in this arc. We get his backstory of Dr. Herlock and everything, and that's cool as well.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. It's a cool little arc. It's a cool little arc. And after that, we finally get to the main event, Alabasta, its damn self.
Let's talk about how we had our first appearance with Ace in this joint.
That's just what I was about to get into. That's just what I was about to get into and everything.
Go ahead, bro.
So we're at like a little bar or whatever and everything, and we see Smoker again. He's looking for Luffy because he knows Luffy's in the vicinity and all that. And then after that, like what's the name? We see on Buggy ship a guy just washed up and got on Buggy ship and is eating his food and everything. It's like, who's this guy eating my food? And that day he wakes up. Hey, I'm Porky Ace and everything. Nice to meet you for your food and everything. Then he falls back asleep while eating the food and everything. He's like, he fell asleep, and he's like, wait, should we just toss him overboard or kill him or anything? No, look at his back. That's Fire Fist Ace. He wasn't one of Whitebeard's people. And at that, you hear Luffy. You hear not Luffy. You hear Buggy say, "Hey man, one thing I've learned because I was on the ship with Roger when we ran the fade with Whitebeard. You don't fuck with Whitebeard." So what's the name? Literally,
I remember that. What Buggy? That was the first time Buggy got specific and he got serious and he said, "Listen." Yeah, I've been on this seas long enough. You know, I know. And it was so crazy because he even said, I'm pretty sure he said something around this. He was like, I know I joke around a lot.
Yeah, he said, I know I joke around a lot. I know I talk about this and all that. But it's what's saying, I know I talk like I'm big shit, but I know who really big shit. I don't because
I think they were about to rob Ace or something.
No, they was like he was saying like because like Ace was on board, like Ace was like like you remember he was eating the food and everything. Yeah. Then he's like Ace was asleep while he was eating the food and everything. He was like, hey, like the guys like his people's like, hey man, why don't we throw him overboard? Why don't we just kill him and rob him and everything? He's like, bruh, you see his tattoo on his back? We don't fuck with Whitebeard pirates. Then Ace wakes back up and like, oh, you know about the old man.
Buggy got serious. He got real serious and he said, don't do it. He said literally, listen. I've been on these seas long enough. Mm-hmm. One thing you don't do, don't you mess with Whitebeard pirates. I don't know who in particular this guy is, but even when Ace woke up, it was all vibes.
It was still fun. It was all vibes. And it was funny and everything that they touched down and that like we see Smoker and everything there. And then after that, like literally Luffy's over, like what's it? Ace goes to a little place. He's eating the food and all that, and then
he was drinking with them and partying with them and everything.
Drinking and partying, but like he goes to a bar and everything. He eats the whole owner's food and everything. He's like, "Hey man, you eat all this food, not paying attention." Hey man, I'm sorry. I'm just eating the food and everything. After that, Smoker comes in. Porky Ace, we've been looking for you. And after that, like, do you think they about to run the fade until Luffy runs in and then pushes them out, and that they go flying through?
And this part is what's crazy for me though, because this is what doesn't make sense.
He was trying to see Luffy. Like that's what Ace was trying to do. He was trying to see Luffy.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it was just like it was actually really subtle at that point. It was like a little standoff, and Ace was still eating his food, and he was just like, "Oh, this is where we're gonna do this."
Yeah.
And Luffy is able to touch Smoker at that point, and he busts through and pushes Smoker through how many walls? I don't know.
That pushes Ace through those walls too. And the thing is, like, my thing is, because Smoker at that time, like, if he's not using his fruit, like, you know, consciously, he gets pushed. Like he's still like human and everything. Like if you catch them slipping, like they just sleep or whatever, unless they have like they just automatically observational hockey.
I feel like a lot of times it's not like a conscious thing. I think it's unconsciously they do it. Because I feel like it's an unconscious thing because there was one point I'm not gonna get ahead of myself.
Like somebody sliced into him and he turned into smoke. And it was like he wasn't even ready for the joint too.
He wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they were trying to be funny because when Luffy busted, and it's so funny because Ace was eating, and then
Yeah.
Luffy starts eating Ace's food.
Yes, and
And
that's
I
the
was just
funniest part
like,
too. Like, and that like
that's
literally
funny.
Smoker comes back through the things like, "Argh." And after that, like, what's the name? They get out the
Luffy
way.
doesn't even remember here. He's just eating and his face is stuffed.
Yeah, and then like literally they leave the place. Smoker's chasing after them and everything. After that, Ace pops up. They're like, oh hey, like what's that? No, like they running away. He loses Smoker. They and at the in the alleyway, he's like, oh, long time no see. They talk like, Ace, what's up with you? Then they dap up, start beating up some Navy niggas and Hitchman and everything effortlessly. This tag team and fire, rubber,
No.
fire.
First
Rubber.
of all, they start to arm wrestle before they even get into
Yeah.
it with the Navy folks, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, y'all sitting here arm wrestling and everything. That's actually fire. I mess with that.
I
I don't remember who wins the arm wrestle, but
It was Ace.
most likely,
Yeah.
most likely. But your boy Ace really showed out for real.
Like the intro for that character was just so cool and smooth, and that like you see them like they all hop on the ship and everything, they're running away. Then you see like what's the name? He hops on board. It's like hey man, my brother's strong as hell, and then the crewmates like, wait, Luffy, you have a brother? Like yeah, that's my brother. And that he's like, hey man, he's stronger than me. And that's like what's saying that's back before he even had this flame food powers and everything. And after that, like he talked, like he said,
which is crazy to me because Luffy, in all that time, he's always had, and all the time he's known Ace and they've been brothers, he's always had his gum fruit.
Yeah, like what's him? He's always had the gum fruit and everything, and then literally, like he's like, I feel like I can beat him now. Then Ace hops on board, like, you want to bet about that? And then
you want
like,
to bet about that? I was like, okay.
Then he hops on the little thing. He's like, oh hey, what's up with you and everything? He's like, he's talking to them. He's like, hey man, my brother a handful. No, he's not. Come on, you be honest with me. No, he's not. He's like, you're good people. And I was like,
I like how Ace, when he's with the crew, it's mostly him like observing them. And you can see the maturity level in him compared to everyone there, even like Zoro, Sanji. And I'm just like, okay, it doesn't even matter how chill Zoro is as his character. Ace is still chilling back watching them. And he's just like, there's some good people for you, Luffy, this and that. I'm just like,
like,
wow.
cause like literally, he's like, hey man, are these like you'll say, cause like literally he asked that, and then he said, you can be honest with me. Even when he said you can be honest with me, they still kept that there. He's like, you're good people. And I was like, hey, I fuck with that like he lit, like what's saying, he's like, well, Sanji's like, hey man, cause sometimes like, hey, I can't stay that long and everything. Lit Sanji's cigarette. That like you see, like that's when they had to escape and everything. You see like 5 Brookswork ships ahead of them and everything. Some big motherfuckers. And he's like, then that's where Ace gets loose. And
I was about to be like, I didn't know if you were gonna talk about that yet. Hey, yo, go ahead, bro.
That's the part right there that like Ace's character reveal. It's funny enough, like you think like it's just an older version of Luffy, but like he's like more chill, more relaxed, more reserved. And then on top of that, the fucking flex when like literally you see this man, he hops off the going merry and everything, hops on this little mini ship and everything, and after that like literally you see 5 big ass ships right there all armed to the teeth with cannons and everything. He's like, hey man, it's like, hey, fire physics, hey man, we're about to make a mincemeat and everything. And that you see the man, he pushes the thing pushes the little thing underneath, hops on the other side, like you see him turn into flame, fly over the joint and everything, and then literally sit here and says, fire fist, and then the motherfucker rips through all 5 of those ships, leaving them to fucking cinders and ashes and little pieces and everything, house on this little ship, and he puts this thing up, he's like,
because this man literally jumped. Not only did he blow up like 5 to 6 ships in a row with one blast, he jumped over 5 ships too, and met up with his little boat underneath, jumped on top of it, and just literally tipped his hat and everything. It was just like I said, I was just like, this man.
I was like, this man is like, he ain't no joke, and I love to see it. It was just a dope ass intro. Then he steps off, and that you see everybody else in the crew like, wow, Luffy's brother's the shit, nigga. We had him on our time. We ain't had him nothing. It's like, hey man, nah.
And you don't see him again till we'll get to that part.
We'll get to that part. We don't see him again and everything.
That's so fire.
It was a dope ass, like, you know, go ahead, Jess. You get your moment on this. I already said my piece. That was the dope ass shit,
bro. Even just his introduction when he comes in and everything, he's literally walking into the city, and literally one lady is just like, "You can live forever. I have a genie in this bottle," and he's just like, "I'm cool. Just living today is good enough for me." And I'm just like, "Dang, who is this man, bro?" Like Ace is just, dang. R.I.P. We'll get to it.
R.I.P. the good one, bro. R.I.P. the good one. So we get through that and everything. We get to Alabasta, and after that, like we get like what's it? Like I said, this arc is long as a motherfucker. It's like this specific arc itself is my bad. I'm going for it. This specific arc itself is long, and I repeat, long. It's long. A lot of shit happens. So what's when they get to that and everything, and Luffy's just like, "Yo, where the fuck is Crocodile at? I want to beat this nigga ass. I'm tired of waiting. Where this nigga at? I need to beat his ass. That's it."
And the crazy thing,
and then at that, VV's like, "What about the people?" He's like, "Bruh, fuck them people. I want to beat this nigga ass." That she slaps Luffy. Then Luffy slaps her back.
Luffy was tripping, man. Like he was whooping her ass.
Luffy, like literally, Luffy is a firm believer in gender equality. As far as if you want smoke, I'll give it back to you and everything. But like what's name?
Sanji, he doesn't play that at all.
Like I mean, the only thing about Sanji is like Sanji a perv, but at the same time he's like, I never will hit a woman, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. But my thing is, she's trying to kill you, and she ain't good,
bro.
That be making me mad.
That's a flaw. Like, we'll get to that part.
We'll get to that part. That's like,
what I'm talking about.
In Annie's lobby, right? In Annie's lobby, right?
Yes. We'll get to that part when we get to that part.
So what's the name?
Blew me.
That blew the fuck out of me. But anyway, so that happens and everything, and then we pass some time. They get into Alabasta. They had to be incognito and all that other stuff. Then Luffy finally gets a chance to run the fade with Crocodile. Shit does not go well. Luffy. This is the first time in this anime that we see Luffy lose. This like in every other part beforehand, it's just a straight on fade. Luffy fights the guy, and after that, like what's saying, he pulls it out. Like all along, like he came, like what's saying, he just pulled it out and everything. This time we see Luffy lose, and I'm like, oh damn, like he out here. What's saying? Because my thing is he couldn't even touch Crocodile because he didn't know how the man's powers work or whatever.
This was before hockey, so your boy had to really get like
he had to understand the guy's abilities. He had to do like luckily.
He had to become really innovative with this fighting. He had to be strategic in everything. It wasn't like his regular before hockey. Like Luffy had to be like strategic. For people like this, he had to be strategic. Like
I said, this is like they're still introducing. Like this is like what's saying. This is our technically second, well third, because Ace is the second. This is our third Logia type user and everything. Yes. And like when we're saying basically you have different types of devil fruit. You have regular devil fruit, they give you your powers. You have Logia type devil fruit. Basically, you get the elemental ones.
It goes like this. I don't know. I can probably find a link. We can leave it in the description to someone who can explain it better. But basically, you have people who are Prometheus like Luffy.
Yeah, Paramecium.
Paramecium like you, Luffy. You have your Logia fruit, which are the people who can like turn into like whatever they are, like
elements.
sand and like elements and everything, like Fire Fist, and then you have your zone type, which people can turn into like beasts and everything, and then you have your mythical zone type, which is
dragons and all that. That's Kaido area. But what's the name?
No, that's Kaido and that's Marco.
Kaido and Marco, because once they Kaido, once you turn into Phoenix and shit. So basically,
I didn't even know that, but I just got spoiled. But it's all good though.
Sorry, well, I mean, you knew that because of Marineford when he was like wasn't flying around and shit. So, but basically, back to it right now and everything. Luffy loses and everything. Not that we had to figure out where Luffy is and all that. He ends up in like everybody's in like it's Luffy, Vivi, Smoker for some reason. And Zoro, they all end up in the jail in the little casino and everything.
It's a lot of backstory too.
It's a lot of backstory and everything. We learn about how Crocodile infiltrated with Broke Works into the Alabasta Kingdom and everything. How Vivi got displaced, where her father is, etc., etc. And after that, like how they're trying to what's the name? We meet Robin in this arc too. Not that like what's saying about that. Like what's saying we read the like it's supposed to have like a little like poneglyph here for the ancient weapon.
I was just about to say this is where we first introduced the poneglyphs, which play a serious role, very significant. Well, go ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, like they're in jail and everything. They had to break out because like what's saying they're about to drown them and everything, and then get fed to, if you guessed it, crocodiles, crocodiles, which are like he has some big ass fucking crocodiles. Like them shits like
those were huge.
Huge.
Like, huge.
But my thing is in this world, like you got underwater animals that are big as fuck. You got on land animals that are big as fuck. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck they feed these animals.
And you know what's crazy though, bro? They're very distinctive with like there are big humans and then there are
giants.
There are giants and then there are Alabasta, and they're really specific with it.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure why it's like that, but it's like that for a specific reason. It's fire though. It's fire.
It's fire.
Like
it's fire.
Some people are just big.
Yeah. Big. I mean, my thing is like because you see like height differential. Like you see Luffy and the crew, they look like regular size people.
Bro, they're all regular.
You get to like regular size people. After you get the fucking like Doflamingo, that nigga like 10 feet high and shit. Then you get the fucking Kaido and Big Mom and shit. And they ain't even giants, but it is big as hell. And I'm like,
they're not giants, they're not Alabasta, they're just
big as fuck people. But
like, let's stay on track.
Let's stay on track. So what's the name? They get free of the little crocodile joint and everything. They learn that crocodile has a place rigged to blow and everything. If they don't, let's say ring a bell or some shit like that. It's been a while since I like what's supposed to join, but it was something like that. They had to punch the bell or some shit like that.
So they had to ring the bell. There's a bomb in the bell as well.
Yeah.
And on top of that, in the process of that, Pell dies. He's one of Vivi's servants. He's the eagle guy. He's a zone type 1.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of backstory. Like there's a rebellion that was formed because people believe that the king is the one who stole all the rain. But needless to say, they don't know that it's Crocodile who did all that. Crocodile has the sand fruit. He's able to dry things up. He's able to keep the rain from falling apparently because he keeps the humidity in the air very high.
Yeah.
Not only that, but and the leader of the resistance is I can't remember his name, but the childhood friends with Vivi.
He is. And after that, like what's saying, they try to force him to like fight and all that and everything, kill people, but like he wasn't all that and everything.
So much is introduced. We also have Mr. This is where the rest of Baroque comes out too.
Yep.
The other inner people, you have Mr. One who's slicing people up with like his
like those shorts and all that. Yeah,
he's black with blonde hair.
Yeah, like what's the? It's you get all the different. You get the top Baroque Works members and everything. Like after what's saying Luffy and them break out, you get to like the nitty gritty. We get to the climax, and the climax, I'll say, for me, almost pays out for how long this shit was. Almost. I probably said this. I probably already 20 times already. This arc is long.
Yeah, to be very honest,
and it's not even filler. It's all the arc is just so long.
This arc is long. I respect it though. This arc is very long. I feel as though it's not the longest, but it's like when you look back on it, it feels like the longest. It had like 3 different parts to it, honestly.
Yes, like it's literally first get there, like what's saying they meet, like they get there, they what's saying that you have the part where they get what's saying Luffy loses, and that they had to escape the little part. Then you get to the climax. The climax is like a whole bunch of things happen. Like you had the members that are fighting all the different members of Baroque Works and everything. You get the Zoro fight, which was dope. He sliced that nigga up because
let's break down the fights, man. Let's break down everybody's fight, bro. I feel like we need to.
Heck, I'm like what's saying. Only ones that stick out to me the most was really Zoro's fight and Luffy's fight.
I'm gonna be real.
I remember Nami's fight. Like that's the first time she ever used a little tool and everything. I was proud of her. Hey, I'm gonna be real. I'm proud that like Nami.
I was actually really happy with Usopp's heart in his fight.
Yeah,
I was happy with his heart.
Yeah, he said his heart. I mean, hey, bro.
No, for real. He fought with his heart. I'm gonna get into that. But go ahead.
With his heart, but like my thing is, in anime, sometimes. I mean, don't get me wrong, Naruto has really left a lot of people with a bad opinion on sometimes females in animes because sometimes they don't write them correctly and everything. Like Sakura has been like the biggest red mark on females in anime in history. Like she's a trash. But let's get back to it. in different anime, women can be useful. They can do the team. They don't have to be the damsel in distress and can be useful to helping out the overall goal. Nami here, this is the first arc she shows the thing. She's not going to be screaming and all that. She got the little tool that Usopp gave her, and that she fights that one girl. She beats her, does a little light and everything. Go for Nami. I'm happy to see it. And after that, we get like that happened. I don't remember. Like, to me, Usopp's fight is escaping my mind right now. Or like Sanji.
It's pretty vivid. I remember it.
Like, I remember Zoro's joint. Like,
do you want to break down Zoro's, or do you want me to?
I'll start and you can finish. So Zoro's like, he was fighting dude and everything, and at that, like, literally, like, he was like, I remember Zoro couldn't like cut him for some reason or some shit like that.
He couldn't cut through steel.
The steel, that's what it was.
He could not.
Steel.
He had not learned how to cut through steel yet.
He hadn't cut through steel yet and everything, which I know in the comments or somebody else, this was the first time Zoro used armament hockey. But no, that was Zoro. I don't
believe so. Whoa,
it wasn't. But like you know how people like to say all that different shit. They'll say it wasn't armament. It was you haven't heard about it yet, so
I think it was just his swordsmanship.
It was just his swordsmanship, in my opinion. He cut through that joint and everything. That sliced that nigga up, and then that it was done. I was like, hey, it's my nigga Zoro. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Sometimes a lot of times. For swordsmen, it's just how they wield their swords, if we're being completely honest. Because there were some flashbacks where he had went back and it showed him in the dojo with his sensei, and how he was like saying, oh, if you want to be able to slice certain things, you have to like, do this and that. And his I believe his sensei could slice steel.
Yeah.
But I don't think his sensei had armament hockey or anything like that. It's possible he seemed wise enough to have, but I really doubt it. But nah, it a lot of it is just swordsmanship. It's just like it's raw swordsmanship, and how like you're able to wield the power and truly just be able to really just tap into like your true potential in it. And Zoro, he is people don't understand, like, and I saw me and Kenny were talking about this probably like earlier this week. Is just like we have seen Zoro constantly training, constantly trying to get stronger, because it's just like he believes he's weak. Actually, one thing we did leave out in Little Garden, I got to give Zoro his flowers again, because this man, they were all on a spinning wax cake.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I have to give this man, because the thing is with Zoro, this man basically goes into almost every single fight pre-time skip and everything before, like, on the verge of death. Yep. This man was literally on a spinning cake. He was frozen in it, and because like he was like, all right, I'm not about to just stand here and not at least try to get into a fight and try to fight these people. This man was prepared to cut both of his legs off, get down, and fight these people. And then Vivi was just like, you're not gonna get that far. He was just like, let's see what I can do. He cuts halfway through his legs, halfway through both of his legs. And if we actually, if they ever show his ankles, you'll see like the stitch part of where he cut halfway through his legs, and he bled out. But yes, going back to where I was actually saying, this man trains extensively, has gone from the brink of death so many times, is pulling 10 tons, 5 plus 10 ton weights, trying to get stronger. And he's just saying, I'm so weak and everything. He's pulling it with his feet. He does it with his hands and everything.
Yeah, man. He say he want to be the best. He puts himself through all the work. Like, the thing is, like, let's say me and Justin talked about this. Pre-time skip, you don't see any of the other members of the team besides Zoro do any training to better themselves or everything. Only thing they get better, like, fighting is like technically the only time like they better themselves a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. Because like my thing is, you need, like, if you every time you have to be in a situation like that, you need to still train all now and again so Zoro gets himself better. But post time skip and everything, because like my thing is, Luffy, like, beforehand, I guess, like, literally he like Luffy beforehand and all that, he used, like, he came up. I'm gonna get a little ahead of myself, so I'm gonna go into too depth with it. But he does his thing and all that, but he needs to, like, what's saying, if he trained and did a little bit better, he wouldn't have to keep going for these rounds with these villains and all that. But I feel like that's just a One Piece trope at this point.
I believe that what they trying to say is, and Kenny actually did touch base on this like about a week ago when we were talking about this. I think they try to make up with Luffy's training with literally his back-to-back fighting skills and how he's constantly going back-to-back in a different fight. Because I'll bring this up again when we get to certain parts. Kenny knows, but it's just like, because like Kenny said to me, it's just like Luffy, it's like a saying. It's just like they get the Zenkai thing where like every fight.
Well, that's part of the hockey, but that's something. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We gotta wrap up Alabasta first. So basically, we get round 2 of Luffy versus Crocodile. This time, Luffy's prepared.
He does better.
he wins this time. Like he gets the war. Like what's name? It's still a hard fight.
No. He doesn't win this time actually, because do you remember the second time he meets up with them? He has like a jug of water.
Yeah, he has the jug of water. But the thing is, after it's cracked and everything, him and he has the water. He falls into the little. Oh yeah, he fell into the crevice and all that and everything. And, that's what happened.
He dried him up. He dried his throat and everything up. Yeah. And Luffy fell down, and then like those spit balls of water fell after Crocodile had left. So technically, Luffy he lost round 1 and 2.
Yeah, he lost round. Yeah, I forgot he did. Yeah, he lost round 1 and 2. Then he came back, and then they ran a fade and everything. Kept himself wet for some. He kept himself wet, and after that, like he beat the fuck out that man Crocodile and everything. And then like he saved him and Robin and them from like the crash of that joint falling down. And I'm gonna say this. I think what they did by taking one, I want to say this. The reason why I like Alabasta is simply because one, I love how the scenery is put together. The vibe of the cities and everything, the sand and everything, it's dragged out. But when it comes down to it and showing the city and showing the architecture that they really put together and the art that they really do, especially when they go underground with Luffy and Crocodile and Nico Robin fighting there, that's fire, because it's just like, yo, the architecture that this man Oda has really bestowed in this show is amazing. For one, Luffy, because a lot of places are influenced by like real life. I forget what Alabasta is, but I know like what's the name? Wano's Japan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
1 second, Alabasta. It's like what is this based off of? I'm just trying to figure out where. Like I forget the place. You can keep going, bro. Keep going.
Basically, they are literally. This is the final battle, and I like how the stakes are so high that they're underground and they're right in front of the poneglyphs. And Nico Robin is supposed to actually, she's actually supposed to break down what's happening on the poneglyphs, because Nico Robin is also an archaeologist, which we all know. Yeah, she's very smart. We'll get to more of her backstory later on. We got to wrap this one up. Basically, so she actually turns on Crocodile underground hero as well, and Luffy, he's going back to back with Crocodile, to a point where he's not even using blood, he's not even using water anymore to fight this man, to like put some blows on him. He's using his own blood. Like he's bleeding. Crocodile's kind of worn down, but Luffy's at like his rope and everything.
And he pulled it out though.
And he pulls it out. I love the architecture. That's what's really amazing.
Like what's that? It was supposed to be like Egypt or whatever.
I believe so, but you know, they had a lot of white folks in this.
My thing is like they changed a lot of stuff and everything, because like I'm still mad at like because my thing is technically Robin was a lot had a little bit tan before.
I didn't like what they did with that, but she was like,
I was like, wait a minute, they made her the same complexion as Nami, and I'm like, hold the fuck.
There was no need for that. She was literally, I don't know, she was like a good tan. She was like a
next thing you know, every time if they make Brooke alive again, they're gonna take away my man Melanin.
Like she was literally like almost, she was Indian. Yeah, she was basically Indian. And then they turned her white in the time skip, and I was just sitting back. I was like, why did y'all do that? Why did y'all do that? You made a significant change that did not need to happen.
It's a significant change, but I mean, heck, bro. So out of this, I'm just gonna rate it myself. I mean, this is number one because like this is the payoff of everything here and everything. So this is number one to me. Number two had to be this because this shit was funny. It was cool to see Zoro do this. Number three, number four, and number five.
So you know, the crocodile one, that's gonna be number one for me. Whiskey Peak is gonna be two.
Yeah.
Little Garden is gonna be three. We basically have the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Except I'm gonna put
So which one is gonna be five?
I'm honestly gonna make Drum Island my last one, honestly.
All right. I mean, yeah, bro. So this is
actually
this...
let me not do Chopper like that.
I was saying, you gonna do Chopper like that, bro?
I'm not gonna do him like that, but
right,
just know that this was it was a good arc, but I think what was mostly I think it was just a lot of backstory and a lot of detail being poured into this. Yeah. That's what made this so because you got to know the history of like these things.
You got to know the history of the characters, some lore and everything. Like the whole saga itself, it's good. It's just, I keep saying this, but long. Like it's just long in the motherfucker. But